Good evening, I'm Dawn Baker. Thank you so much for joining us for the news live right here from the WTOC Digital Desk at 10 o'clock. Don't forget that we are streaming this broadcast on our website, our app, Amazon Fire, Roku, YouTube, Facebook, as well as Twitter. Thank you all so much for joining us again this evening. I see people coming in here from Guyton, quite a few people because of the Effingham County story, I'm sure. Savannah, Garden City, Stilson, Brunswick, thank you for joining us. We're going to bring you the very latest information on that just devastating story we've been covering all day long out of Effingham County. 14-year-old Mary Crocker had not been seen in weeks, and deputies questioned people inside of her home who said that Mary had gone to live with her mother. Now, investigators searched the grounds of the home, and that's when they found Mary's body along with her brother, the little boy you see next to her, Elwin Crocker Jr., who had not been seen since November of 2016. Now, let's take a look at these mug shots. These are the family members who are accused of this crime. 49-year-old Elwin Crocker Sr., the biological father of both children, and the stepmother, 33-year-old Candace Crocker. Deputies arrested and charged them with concealing the death of another and cruelty to children in the first degree. The step-grandmother, 50-year-old Kim Wright, has also been arrested on those same charges. We talked to neighbors in that area who just could not believe what was going on in the small community of Guyton. They are still stunned tonight about this heartbreaking case.
I just seen things that just didn't sometimes add up, over there. But they was a strange family. I mean, they stayed to themselves,
Investigators say that they have everyone in custody who they believe might be connected to this crime. Make sure you stay with WTOC as we bring you the very latest developments on TV as well as online. Well, a group of Christmas carolers from a church in Bloomingdale had a very close call on yesterday. They were on their way to sing at the nursing home in Pooler called The Place, and their van caught on fire while they were still inside. Luckily, all of them made it out, but if it wasn't for a man nearby who started putting out that fire almost immediately, it could have quickly spread to the nursing home. Crystal Howard has his story tonight.
These carolers came to sing Christmas spirits at this retirement home and spread joy, but they ended up on the receiving end unexpectedly.
Well, I heard the sounds of children hollering and upset, and I heard someone mention a holler fire.
He calls himself Slick Rick and prides himself in how much response training he has learned over the years.
I was afraid the van being so close to the building that it actually the fire was growing, and I was afraid it was going to ignite and could explode and catch the building on fire.
The training and quick response came in handy late Wednesday night when he says the flames kept getting bigger.
The vehicle had flames coming out from under the hood and up under the the front tire fender wells.
Rick says he was visiting his mom, who has been a resident of the Place at Pooler Retirement Home for 3 years. He says he didn't tell her about him being a hero.
She would still be a mother at heart and be concerned with my well-being, my safety as well, because she was always the greatest mom in the world to me.
And he says in the moment where people were calling him a hero, nothing else mattered but making sure everyone was out of the van safely and getting the fire out.
Even with all the tragedy that was taking place, they still had that love in their heart in what they were doing, and they went to each of the patients' room singing Christmas carols and bringing joy to all the patients.
So it seems like everyone in this situation got small gifts of joy. In Pooler, Crystal Howard, WTOC News.
Well, of course, many of you are still talking about the horrible story that happened, the case that happened is going on now in Effingham County in Guyton. All of us are just devastated as well. I did forget to mention that there was a third child found alive in the home. That child has special needs, and the sheriff made sure that the child was taken to the hospital for observation just to make sure all of his needs were met. And we all, like you all are saying here, we want to send our prayers out to the families, the neighbors, the residents, as well as the sheriff's office, because they have never seen anything like this before. Most law enforcement officers haven't. So we'll certainly keep them in our prayers, and you all, please don't forget about them as we get through the holidays. It's going to be a very difficult time for that biological mother who lives in South Carolina, learning that she's lost her children. We'll move on now to 2 elementary school students in Glenville who really got their Christmas wish a few days early today. Our Bureau Chief Dow Kennedy was there when he witnessed their Christmas season get a whole lot brighter.
Plenty of parents juggle their schedule to be at their child's Christmas program, but maybe not quite like one today. Youngsters filed into Glenville Elementary's gym to sing carols in front of parents on the last day of school before Christmas. Haley and Riley Guerrero took their spot on the stage until their principal called them forward and reminded them of their letter to Santa and their request to have Dad home for Christmas. At that point, Santa himself arrived with Sergeant Jesse Guerrero all the way from Belgium. The family moved back this year for the girls to go to school while Jesse stayed in Belgium. He's been planning this surprise since he last saw them this summer.
Mainly, I just wanted to surprise my kids. Haven't seen them in a while. I knew they'd been missing me, so that was my big thing, to surprise them.
The girls eventually did sing in the program, just from a different seat, to get as much time with Dad as they could.
In Glenville with today's good news, Dow Kennedy, WTOC News.
Well, Leah Weinberger certainly brings up an interesting point about this case in Effingham County that none of us will be able to forget about for quite some time. She said if the boy was missing for 2 years, why wouldn't the mother question it? No visits from the real mother for 2 years. She's shaking her head about that one. We are too. We really don't know the circumstances of what was going on in this family, and we don't know yet if the mom said anything. This is very early in the investigation, as you can imagine. All this was revealed this morning to the officers, and they just had that one news conference this evening at 6 o'clock, and they were very honest with us in saying that there was a lot they didn't know yet, but they just feel confident that the people who perpetrated this crime are behind bars tonight. So we do have that to rest on. And I think what the sheriff said too that really stuck with me is that all of us need to be better neighbors. A lot of people who live in the neighborhood told our reporters, the strange things they saw, things especially with the daughter, the little girl who was killed, just looking like she was abused, hands red all the time. And it seemed like the family had a lot of excuses for the public. But I do think we need to pay more attention and make those calls to police and to the Department of Family and Children's Services. Just let them check it out, because if everything is okay, their lives will go on as normal. But perhaps someone could have saved these children. So with that, I'd like to, of course, invite you to come on back for the news at 11. We have many more big stories we're covering for you this evening, and Jamie Ertl, our First Alert meteorologist, will have your complete forecast. Good night, everyone. Thank you again for joining us.